Hello Math Learners! Welcome to the part 2 of our reviewer series here in Math Learning with Sir Ash. This is still your free access math teacher Ash. And if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell for you to be updated of these cool clear math videos just like this. Hello Math Learners! Welcome to our second part of the reviewer series. Now, let us answer again another series of questions and check whether our answers are correct. Now, let's start with the first problem. Which number is wrong in this sequence? What should the number be for the sequence to be correct? 5, 15, 16, 48, 144, 147, 148, 444, and so on and so forth. Is it A, 48, it should be 18. B, 144, it should be 49. C, 147, it should be 145. Or letter D, 144, it should be 132. Okay, math learners, to answer this problem, we are asked which of the part of this sequence is the incorrect number. Now, in order for us to know the wrong part or the error of this sequence, we need to know the pattern. Now, in using pattern, we can use several operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, let's start. So, what happened to 5? Why it became 15? It could be it was multiplied by 3, or it could be it was added by 10. Okay, that could be a pattern. Now, what happened to 15? Why it became 16? It was added by 1. Is there any other way for us to know how 15 became 16? Okay, I think there's none for fundamental operation, right? Okay, how about 16? Why it became 48? It was added by 32, right? Okay, 32. But 16 to 48, it was multiplied by 3 also. Now, as you can see, we already have the pattern, right? Okay. So, how about here? 48, why it became 144? So, technically speaking, we could know that it was added by 90. Wait. It could be added by 96. Okay, 96. But for addition, there is no pattern that is being formed. However, if we continue, multiply by 3 plus 1, multiply by 3, and if we use, example, with trial and error, if we use plus 1 here, here it should be multiplied by 3, here it should be plus 1, here it should be multiplied by 3. Now, let's validate whether this is correct. 147 plus 1 is 148. That's correct. 148 times 3, that is 444. That is also correct. We also validated that this is correct, and this is correct. Therefore, the pattern here is times 3 plus 1 times 3. So, therefore, in this case, 48 plus 1, this should be 49. Now, 49 times 3, that will become 47. Therefore, we have answered our problem, and the correct answer is 144 is the wrong number or term in this sequence. It should be 49. Easy, right? Now, let's check whether your answers are correct, and the correct answer is letter B, 144. It should be 49. Now, let us go to the second problem. If July 12, 2003 fell on a Tuesday, on what day will July 12, 2005 fall? Is it A, Friday, B, Thursday, C, Sunday, or D, Monday? Okay, math learners, in this problem, we are asked that if July 12, 2003 is Tuesday, then July 12, 2005 is what day? Now, this case is an example of the use of days in a year. Okay. Now, if you compare July 12, 2003 to July 12, 2005, that is a difference of 2 years, right? Now, remember that in 1 year, there is 365 days. Of course, if there are 2 years, we will just add another 365 days, giving us 730 days. However, there is a catch here. Between 2003 to 2005, it is 2004. 2004 is known as a leap year. Now, if we are talking about leap years, the total number of days in a leap year is not 365, but instead it is 366 because of the February 29. Therefore, we will be adding one more day here in their difference of 2 years. So this will become 731 days. Now, knowing the difference of the 2 years, what's the next step? Now, the next step is, since we are talking about days in a week, we will be dividing our 731 days to 7 days because in a week, there are 7 days. So by doing so, we have 1 times 7, that is 7, that is 3, 0, 0, 31, this is 4, 28, and we have a remainder of 3 days. Therefore, July 12, 2005 will be 3 days after Tuesday. So that is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and that will be our answer. Easy, right? And the correct answer is letter A, Friday. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. Gestoni is 10 years older than his sister. If Gestoni was 25 years of age in 1983, in what year could he have been born? Is it A, 1948, B, 1963, C, 1958, or letter D, 1953? Now, my dear math learners, it was said in the problem that Gestoni is 10 years older than his sister. But the actual idea of this statement is basically a distraction to what you are solving. Because it says there that Gestoni is 25 years old in 1983. Now, the question is, on what year was he born? So basically, if you are 25 years old during this time, for you to know your birth year, what you need to do is you just subtract this 1983 by 25, giving you 8, 7, 58, 9, 1. So basically, Gestoni was born during 1958. Easy, right? And the correct answer is letter C, 1958. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. If 8 minus square root of x plus 2 is equal to 4, what is the value of x? Is it A, 6, B, 14, C, 48, or D, 2? And now for this problem, my dear math learners, we are asked for the value of x. Now remember, the main rule of solving for the value of x is to isolate x in one side of the equation. Now, as we can see here, x is inside a radical sign. Now, what we can do is to transpose our term here, which is not part of the x. So therefore, this positive 8 right now will become negative 8, giving us negative square root of x plus 2 is equal to 4 minus 8, giving us x plus 2 is equal to negative 4. Now, since these are both negative, we can eliminate the negative sign by dividing both sides by negative 1, giving us x plus 2 is equal to 4. Now, the question is, how do we eliminate the plus 2 here? First thing you should do is to eliminate the radical sign. How do we eliminate the radical sign? Now, since this is square root, we will get the opposite of square root, and that is square. So we will square both sides of the equation. The square root of an expression squared will cancel each other. So therefore, this will become x plus 2. And then the square of 4, that is 4 times 4, that will become 16. Now, we can now transpose our plus 2 here to the other side, giving us 16 minus 2. So therefore, the value of our x is easy, right? And the correct answer is letter B, 14. Okay, easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. What number is next in this sequence? 11,120, 11,260, 11,420, 11,600, blank. Is it A, 11,820, B, 11,760, C, 11,720, or letter D, 11,800? Okay, math learners, this is another problem about sequences. Now, as you can see, all of the given is in the 11,000. So, what is asked in this problem is to know the next term. So, basically, we could use addition to know whether there is a pattern. So, the difference between 11,120 to 11,260 is basically positive 140. Okay. Now, if we continue, the difference between 260 and 11,420, that is positive 160. Okay? There is no pattern. However, if we continue this, 11,420 going to 11,600, the difference is positive 180. Now, can you see the pattern? The pattern is that what you are adding is greater than positive 20. So therefore, for the next number, we will be using plus 200 because 140, 160, 180, the next term for that is 200. So we will use this term. So 11,600 plus 200. Therefore, the answer for this one is 11,800. Easy, right? And the correct answer is letter D, 11,800. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. Which decimal is equal to 3 over 100 plus 2 over 10 plus 5 over 1,000? Is it A, 532 thousandths, B, 523 10,000ths, or letter C, 325 thousandths, or letter D, 235 thousandths? Okay, math learners, we have here fractions, 3 over 100 plus 2 over 10 plus 5 over 1,000. Now, what is the result in decimal? So, if this is the case, you can convert each given fraction into a decimal. Now, if you have 3 over 100, that means 0.03 or 3 hundredths. Alright? With the place value. Now, this is 2 over 10, so that means 2 tenths. So, you can convert this into 0.2. Now, this is read as 5 over 1,000. Therefore, you can convert this into 5 thousandths. And that is written in this way. So, now, you can add them directly, but with the use of alignment. Okay, you will align the decimal point. So, you just add 0 so that it will be aligned. So, therefore, the final answer for this is easy, right? And my dear math learners, the correct answer is letter D, 235 thousandths. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. If the counting numbers 1 to 30 are written down, how many times does the digit 2 appear? Is it A, 11 times, B, 14 times, C, 12 times, or D, 13 times? Okay, math learners, we have here the counting numbers from 1 to 30. Now, the question is, how many times does the number 2 digit appear? Okay, so basically from 1 to 10, there is only 1, 2. From 11 to 20, the 2 appeared in 12 and 20. Now, going to 21 to 30, 21 up to 29, it appeared once, except for the number 22. So, therefore, we can write that 1. So, that is this one, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And the correct answer is 13 times. Alright. And the correct answer is letter D, 13 times. Very easy, my dear math learners, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. By how much is 35% of 220 pesos greater than 50% of 140 pesos? Is it A, 10 pesos, B, 0 peso, C, 7 pesos, or letter D, 20 pesos? Okay, math learner, for this problem, we are asked on the difference of how much greater does the 35% of 220 pesos greater than the 50% of 140. Okay, so basically, we need to solve first the amount in those particular rates. So, the 50% of 140, basically, that is 1/2 of 140. So, that is 70 pesos. Right? Now, for the 35% of 220, you could multiply 220 by 0.35 or 0.35. So, by multiplying, you have 77 pesos. So, therefore, what is the difference between 77 pesos and 70 pesos? The correct answer is 7 pesos. Alright. And the correct answer, my dear math learner, is letter C, 7 pesos. Now, let's go to the next problem. Which among the following common fraction is equivalent to 216 thousandths? Is it A, 53 over 250, B, 27 over 125, C, 21 over 50, or letter D, 108 over 375. Okay, math learners, for this problem, we are asked what is the equivalent fraction of 216 thousandths. Now, the technique here is very simple, my dear math learners. You just need to convert 216 into a fraction. And since this is read as 216 thousandths, therefore, you can write that as 216 over 1,000. Now, I will give you a tip. Now, you can check what happened to 1,000, why it became this kind of denominator. Okay, now let's start with 250. What happened to 1,000? Why it became 250? It was divided by 4. Okay, so basically, we need to divide 216 by 4. So if we divide 216 by 4, that will give us 16, 4. So that is 54. 54 over 250. This is 53 over 250. That is wrong. Okay. Now, how about 125? What happened to 1,000? Why it became 125? Of course, it is divided by 8. So, we can divide 216 by 8. And the answer for that one is 2, this is 16, 5, 6, 27 over 125. So, basically, we already have achieved our answer. So, this is the correct answer for this given problem. Now, do we need to validate the other given choices? If you still have time, then you can do so. What happened to 1,000? Why it became 50? It was divided by 20. Now, can you divide 216 by 20? No, that is not possible. Except if you are considering decimals. So therefore, this is wrong. What happened to 1,000? Why it became 375? Do you have a whole number that could divide 1,000 and the result is 375? So this is still not possible. So therefore, we have answered our problem. Alright. And the correct answer is letter B, 27 over 125. Easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. What value of x will make this proportion correct? 13 is to x is equal to 3.25 is to 8. Is it A, 2, B, 3.5, C, 32, or letter D, 20? Okay, math learners, this is an example of a proportion. So we are asked what is the value of x. So of course, if we are applying the proportion, the fundamental of proportion states that the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes. So x times 3.25 is 3.25x. So for the extremes, we have 13 times 8. Now if we simplify this one, 13 times 8, that is 104. Now we divide both sides by 3.25 so that we can isolate the value of x, giving us x here. So now, we will be dividing 104 by 3.25. Of course, if the divisor has a decimal, we will move the decimal point to the right. So this is moved twice. So we will be moving twice also here. So adding 2 more zeros. So this will become 10,400 divided by 325. So by dividing, we will start with the 1,040. So how many 325 does 1,040 have? So basically, I think there is 3. So 3 times 5, that is 15. Carry 1. 3 times 2, that is 6, 7. And then 3 times 3, that is 9. Okay, so this is 5. This will be borrowing here. This will become 3. And then it will borrow here. 13 minus 7, that is 6. Okay. So we will be bringing down 0. So 650 divided by 325, the answer is 2. So 650. Therefore, there is no remainder. So therefore, the correct answer is 32. Easy, right? And the correct answer is letter C, 32. Very easy, right? Now, let us go to the next problem. Maria and Fe do a job together in 2 hours. Working alone, Maria does the job in 5 hours. How long will it take Fe to do the job alone? Is it A, 3 1/3 hours, B, 2 1/3 hours, C, 3 hours, or letter D, 2 hours? Okay, my dear math learner, the next problem is all about work. It was said in the problem that Maria and Fe work together, and when they work together, they finish the job in 2 hours. Okay? So, when Maria and Fe work together, they finish the job in 2 hours. However, if Maria will work alone, he can finish the job in 5 hours. So, therefore, one job will be finished per 5 hours. So, one job per 5 hours for Maria. However, for Fe, if she worked alone, it was unknown, right? So that is the problem. So therefore, we are asked for one job in how many hours? But if they work together, they can finish the job, that one job, in just 2 hours. Okay. So right now, what we can do is to jot down our given representation. So for Maria, we have one job per 5 hours. For Fe, we have one job per X amount of hours because we still don't know. When they work together, they will finish the job in 2 hours. So basically, this will be our mathematical sentence. Now, how do we solve for the value of X? Of course, it would be easy if we can eliminate all the denominator. So, for the first thing you should do here is to multiply the whole equation by the LCD. So 5 and 2, the LCD is 10. Of course, there is an x there. So you will multiply the whole equation by 10x, giving us 10x over 5 plus 10x over x is equal to 10x over 2. Now, if we simplify this, 10 divided by 5, that is 2x. 10x over x, that will be 10. 10x over 2, that will be 5x. Now, we will combine like terms. We will transpose the 2x here to the other side, giving us 10 is equal to 5x minus 2x. So, 10 is equal to 3x. We divide both sides by 3. So, x right now is basically 3 and 1/3 hours, because 10 divided by 3 is 3, but there is a remainder of 1. So, therefore, this will be the amount or the number of hours if Fe will work alone. Easy, right? And the correct answer, my dear math learners, is letter A, 3 and 1/3 hours. So much easier, right? I hope you are learning well. Now, let us go to the next problem. What is the greatest common factor of the numbers 48, 12, and 32? Is it A, 2, B, 4, C, 3, or D, 6? Okay, my dear math learners, for our final problem, we have 48, 12, and 32. The question is, what is the greatest common factor? So when we talk about factor, basically, we just need to break down the given number. Now, for me to know the greatest common factor among numbers, I always use the prime factorization. Meaning, I will break down all the factors until all the factors are in their prime numbers. Okay, so 48. If we break down 48, we have 8 and 6. However, 6 can be broken down into 3 and 2. But 8 here can also be broken down by 4 and 2. Still, 4 can be broken down into 2 and 2. So, therefore, the factors of 48 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 2. Okay. Now, how about 12? That is 4 and 3. However, 4 can still be broken down by 2 and 2. So, 12 has the factors 2 times 2 times 3. Okay. Now, how about 32? We have 2 and 16. However, 16 can be broken down into 2 and 8. However, 8 can still be broken down into 2 and 4. And 4 can still be broken down into 2 and 2. Okay. So, I have broken down all my given numbers. So, right now, for me to know the GCF, I will look at each given and see what number is available among the three. So, as you can see here, all of them has a 2. Alright. And another value of 2. 3 is available here, but not here. So, therefore, 3 is not a factor. Now, 2 and 2 is also available, but this has no more 2 anymore. So, therefore, there are only 2 pairs of 2. So, the GCF of 48, 12, and 32 is 2 times 2, and that is 4. Alright. And the correct answer, my dear math learner, is letter B, 4. Alright. I hope you have learned a lot of things, my dear math learners. This is the end for our part 2, and I'm sure you are ready for the part 3 of our reviewer series. If you enjoy our discussion for this topic, I hope you can share this to your fellow friends and relatives. My dear math learners, this has been your free access math teacher, Ash. And always remember, it is fun to learn mathematics if we are together learning. Thank you so much, God bless, and keep safe always.